You move into your body and you will move out. And it's how you use your mind that's going to dictate the vibration you're in.
Ever felt like life is just one door after another, constantly closing in your face? Or perhaps you're staring at what seems like an endless hallway with no doors in sight, just walls. Every time you think you've found an opening, it seems to disappear right when you're about to step through. But what if I told you that there is a secret to unlocking doors, a secret that has been hiding in plain sight all along? The silent shift that unlocks everything. This is not about force. It isn't about pushing harder or trying to manipulate the world around you. The key to unlocking everything you desire is not found in your external actions, but in what you do in secret, in the quiet spaces where no one can see. This might sound too simple to be true. After all, we've been conditioned to believe that success, wealth, love, and opportunity only come through constant striving and visible effort. But here's where the real magic lies. The universe responds to the energy you emit when you stop seeking validation, when you stop needing to prove your worth to anyone. When you shift your energy from the outside world to your inner world, doors begin to open without you even asking for them. There's a powerful story in many spiritual traditions about the importance of humility and the quiet nature of true strength. In Christianity, the phrase, "the meek shall inherit the earth," is not just a promise, but an invitation to move with humility and trust. In Buddhism, the path to enlightenment is marked by deep inner stillness, and the energy you carry, without force, determines your path. Even the ancient Stoics taught that our power comes not from the outside world, but from mastering our inner state. When you begin to act in secret, when you stop needing to show the world your every move, something powerful shifts inside of you. The universe responds. The doors you've been trying so hard to open suddenly seem to swing wide open on their own, effortlessly. But before we dive deeper, let's talk about what it means to act in secret. What does it mean to do something that no one else sees, that doesn't require applause or recognition? It's simple, really. It's about working on your inner self without announcing it to the world. It's about building your strength, cultivating your energy, and focusing on your growth without needing others to validate your journey. This could look like many things. It could be praying in private, cultivating gratitude in your quiet moments, or simply choosing to let go of negative emotions without broadcasting your inner struggles to those around you. It's the art of becoming whole within yourself, of finding peace in the stillness. One of the most powerful examples of this is found in the ancient story of the Taoist sage Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu's wisdom teaches that the universe is like water. It flows effortlessly and seeks to fill the emptiness without needing to be noticed. In the same way, when you stop trying to force your way into doors that aren't meant for you, the universe flows naturally toward you, filling the spaces with opportunities and blessings you never expected. When you work on yourself in secret, you're not only learning to trust yourself, but you're also learning to trust the flow of life. The more you can trust that the universe has a plan for you, the less you'll feel the need to chase after it. And the more you trust in the quiet, unseen processes of your inner growth, the more powerful your actions become. Now, this doesn't mean you don't take action at all. It doesn't mean you sit idly by waiting for life to hand you everything. Rather, it's about understanding that the true work begins within. By shifting your focus from the external world to your internal world, you begin to vibrate at a different frequency. You start to align with the universe, and suddenly, doors begin to open without effort, without struggle. The great mystic Rumi once said, "Don't grieve, anything you lose comes round in new form." This is the essence of secret work. When you stop forcing things to happen and start trusting that everything you need is already on its way to you, you begin to experience life as a series of gifts unfolding at the perfect time. You let go of the fear of loss and open yourself to the natural flow of abundance. There's a lesson here that many of us forget. Real power comes from silence, not noise. In the quiet moments, you begin to discover who you really are without the distractions of the world. And in this discovery, you unlock the energy that has always been inside of you. Have you ever noticed how nature doesn't try to force anything? Trees don't try to grow faster because they see other trees around them. The rivers don't struggle to reach the ocean. They simply flow. Nature works in harmony with itself, and when you begin to do the same, when you stop forcing, when you stop reacting immediately to every impulse, you become aligned with that natural flow. This is the secret of acting in silence, in secret. The universe will open doors when you stop trying to pick the locks. It will show you the way when you cease trying to force it to be a certain way. Your journey isn't about doing more, it's about becoming more. In the next parts of this text, we'll explore how exactly this works. How can you shift your inner world in such a way that the outer world responds in kind? How can you stop chasing and start receiving? How can you unlock the doors that seem so elusive? The key is simpler than you might think, but it requires deep trust in yourself and in the universe's wisdom. The first step is always silent. Just like the seed planted deep in the earth, you must trust that your efforts, even when unseen, are leading to something greater. Once you begin to act in secret, everything will change. The hidden power of patience and stillness. There's a reason why patience is often called a virtue, and it's one that we often overlook in our fast-paced, always-on world. Most of us are conditioned to believe that immediate action leads to quick results. We've been trained to think that if we don't push hard enough, we will miss out on the opportunities that could change our lives. But the truth is, it's the opposite. When you learn to practice patience and stillness in your life, the doors that were once closed start to open without you forcing them. This secret power is not about being inactive or stagnant. It's about recognizing the times when you need to step back and let things unfold in their own natural rhythm. Think of it like planting a seed. When you plant a seed, you don't immediately start digging it up to see if it's growing, right? That would only hinder the process. Instead, you trust that the seed is working underground, doing its thing in secret. The roots are forming, the stem is growing, and you can't even see it. And then, when the time is right, the shoot breaks through the soil and the plant begins to grow visibly. This natural process is exactly how the universe works with you. But just like the seed, your growth happens in silence, in the moments when you're not trying to control or force things into being. In these quiet spaces, you allow your inner self to grow and align with the opportunities that are already on their way to you. A significant part of this process is learning to detach from outcomes. The minute you stop obsessing over results, you free yourself from the pressure of always needing to control the situation. Instead of chasing after success, you start to trust that success will find you when the time is right. This is the magic that patience brings. This concept is not new. Many philosophies have embraced the power of letting go and surrendering to the flow of life. Taoism, for example, teaches us about the importance of Wu Wei, or the art of doing nothing. Not in action, but doing things in harmony with nature and in their proper time. It's about working with the flow of life instead of against it. When you practice stillness, you begin to create space for everything in your life to align. By letting go of the need to act immediately or push for things to happen, you open yourself up to the infinite potential that is waiting to enter your life. This is how the universe responds. It is not about force, but about allowing yourself to be an open channel for divine energy and opportunities. Consider the story of a river. A river doesn't force its way through the land. It simply flows, it winds, it bends, and it finds its way around obstacles. When you stop fighting against the current of life, you begin to move with it, and it takes you to places you couldn't have imagined before. In order to harness this quiet power, you must trust in two key principles. The first is that the universe already knows what you need, and the second is that everything happens in divine timing. Trusting in this timing is what allows doors to open effortlessly. The right people will show up, the right opportunities will unfold, and all you have to do is stay present and allow things to happen as they are meant to. However, there's something else that often gets overlooked when we talk about patience: self-awareness. Being patient doesn't mean sitting idly by and waiting for life to hand you everything. It means being aware of the spaces in your life where you are reacting out of fear or insecurity. When you stop reacting impulsively to every situation, you give yourself the ability to choose how you respond, rather than simply reacting out of habit. Self-awareness gives you the power to recognize when you are acting out of neediness or fear, and when you can separate yourself from those impulses, you open up the possibility for real growth. This is where the magic happens, in the moments when you can recognize your own patterns and release the need to control everything around you. It's in those moments that the doors you've been waiting for start to appear, not because you're forcing them, but because you've finally aligned yourself with your truest self. It's important to note here that this shift doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice to quiet your mind, to stop reaching for immediate gratification, and to trust that the universe is working on your behalf. But with each day, you get closer to the life you've been trying to create. You'll feel a subtle shift in your energy as you move from impatience to trust. The key is to be willing to do the work without needing to see immediate results. This is where the power of silence comes into play once again. Silence doesn't mean doing nothing. It means creating space in your life to hear your own inner voice, to listen to the subtle whispers of the universe guiding you. In that space, you'll find clarity. The right doors will open, and they'll open at the right time. There's a deep freedom in this way of being. When you stop forcing things, when you stop chasing after every opportunity, you free yourself from the constant pressure of feeling like you're not enough, or that you have to earn everything through sheer effort. Instead, you realize that you are enough just as you are. And in that recognition, everything you've been seeking will begin to find you. The invisible forces at play. When you stop trying to force things, you start to notice a different kind of energy in your life. It's subtle at first, like a breeze you can't see but can definitely feel. It's the invisible force of synchronicity, the hidden currents that guide your steps even when you aren't aware of them. These currents are what the universe uses to guide you toward the right people, opportunities, and experiences. But here's the thing. Most people are too distracted by their desire for control to notice these signs. They're stuck in the belief that they must be actively making things happen all the time. What they don't realize is that when they pause, when they let go, the universe begins to nudge them in ways that seem almost magical. Take, for example, the concept of synchronicity, as described by Carl Jung. He referred to synchronicity as the meaningful coincidence of two or more events or phenomena that are not related by cause and effect, but seem to be connected in a way that transcends the ordinary laws of chance. This is the force at play when things seem to just happen at the right moment, when a chance encounter leads to an unexpected opportunity, or when you think of someone and they suddenly reach out to you. It's as though the universe is weaving a tapestry of connections, and you are at the center of it, moving in alignment with this invisible web of possibility. But to truly experience synchronicity, you must stop resisting it. It is a form of connection that exists only when you allow yourself to be open to the unexpected. You see, the universe doesn't work in predictable, linear ways. It's not always going to give you the exact outcome you expect, nor will it always reveal itself in the way you thought it would. But when you surrender your desire for certainty and control, you open yourself to the magic of the unknown. In order to receive the gifts that synchronicity offers, you must become attuned to the small moments that often go unnoticed. A chance conversation with a stranger, a fleeting thought that leads you down a new path, an unexpected connection that feels too perfect to be a coincidence. These are the moments that hold the answers to your desires. But if you're too busy forcing things or expecting them to happen on your own terms, you'll miss these subtle signs. There's an ancient philosophy that speaks to the power of receptivity. In Taoism, the concept of Wu Wei refers to effortless action, doing nothing yet achieving everything. It's the art of allowing things to unfold naturally, trusting that everything will happen when it's meant to, without you having to push it into being. Wu Wei is about being in perfect harmony with the world around you. When you practice it, you stop forcing your will upon the world, and instead, you allow the world to shape you. This flow state allows you to tap into the invisible forces at play, and in doing so, you begin to align yourself with the infinite possibilities that await. It's this concept of Wu Wei that leads to the next crucial shift, the ability to feel the energies that surround you. When you stop focusing on your own agenda, when you stop thinking about what you want and how to get it, you start to feel the subtle energy of the world moving through you. This energy isn't something you can see with your eyes, but you can feel it in your body. You can sense when a situation is in alignment with your true self and when it's not. Learning to tune into these energies takes practice. It requires that you silence the constant chatter of your mind and get in touch with the deeper, quieter parts of your being. And once you do, you'll start to realize something profound. The energy of the universe is constantly moving and changing, and you are part of that flow. When you stop resisting it, when you stop trying to control it, you become an active participant in this larger cosmic dance. This is where real transformation happens, when you realize that you are not separate from the universe, but an integral part of it. You are not a lone individual fighting to achieve success or happiness. Instead, you are a part of a greater whole, moving in harmony with everything around you. When you align yourself with this flow, you stop forcing doors open. They begin to open for you, effortlessly. This isn't just a philosophy, it's a practical tool that you can apply to your everyday life. Think about the times when things seem to fall into place effortlessly. Perhaps you met the right person at the right time, or an opportunity appeared out of nowhere that changed the course of your life. These moments of synchronicity are not random. They are the universe's way of guiding you, showing you that you are on the right path. But here's the catch. In order to experience this kind of flow, you must be willing to release the need for immediate results. Often, we are taught that we must act quickly to seize an opportunity, that the window for success is small, and that if we don't take advantage of it right away, we'll miss our chance. But the truth is, when you stop trying to force things and learn to wait for the right moment, the doors that are meant for you will open naturally. The power of this practice lies in understanding that everything has its own timing. The universe doesn't rush, and neither should you. When you stop reacting impulsively, you begin to see that time works in your favor. There is a natural rhythm to life, and when you learn to move with it, you will experience less struggle and more alignment. But how can you deepen your connection with this flow? The art of surrender and the power of detachment. There's a profound shift that occurs when you move beyond the need to control your every step. In this space, you stop clinging to expectations, and you begin to realize that surrender is not a form of weakness, but of strength. Surrendering is about trusting the journey, even when you can't see the destination clearly. This is when the universe begins to work with you, not because you've forced things into place, but because you've allowed life to unfold naturally. Surrender is not about giving up. It's about letting go. It's a conscious release of the tight grip you often have on your circumstances, people, and outcomes. When you surrender, you make a decision to stop pushing, stop forcing, and stop trying to control every variable in your life. You choose to trust in the greater plan that is being woven behind the scenes. This concept is beautifully captured in the philosophy of detachment, which has been a cornerstone in many spiritual traditions. The Bhagavad Gita, a foundational text in Hinduism, speaks about the importance of detachment when it comes to the results of our actions. It teaches that by acting without attachment to the outcome, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Detachment allows us to experience the joy of the present moment without the burden of constantly chasing after what comes next. Imagine standing at the edge of a lake. The water is calm, yet beneath the surface there's a subtle current that keeps the water moving. If you resist the flow, the water pushes back harder, making it difficult to move forward. But if you release your resistance and simply allow yourself to float with the current, the flow carries you gently to your destination. This is the power of detachment. It is the ability to let go of the struggle and allow yourself to be carried by life itself. When you detach, you open yourself to the possibility of receiving what you need without needing to control how it comes to you. It's not about abandoning your goals or desires. Instead, it's about trusting that the universe knows the best way to bring them to you. The right opportunities, the right people, the right circumstances, they'll all come at the right time, not because you've forced them, but because you've allowed space for them to enter your life naturally. In this process of surrender and detachment, you also learn the power of presence. When you stop worrying about what could go wrong or what might happen in the future, you begin to experience the richness of the moment you're in. This doesn't mean that you abandon planning or foresight. It simply means you stop attaching yourself to a particular outcome. You stop waiting for life to meet your expectations and instead open yourself to the unexpected. You may wonder, how do I surrender without giving up on my dreams? The answer is simple. You shift from trying to control the process to trusting the process. Surrender is not about giving up on your goals. It's about releasing the constant need to manipulate every aspect of your life. When you do this, you free yourself from the stress and pressure of trying to make everything happen according to your own timeline. This shift allows you to connect with something deeper inside yourself, your soul's true desires. You no longer feel as though you have to force everything into place. Instead, you can trust that everything is unfolding as it should. Your dreams, your aspirations, and your desires will begin to manifest, but they will do so in ways you may not have expected. And that is the beauty of surrendering. Surrendering opens the door to the flow of life. It's the place where things can manifest with ease, where opportunities appear effortlessly, and where you begin to see the interconnectedness of everything. When you let go of resistance, you align yourself with the natural flow of the universe. Consider the seasons. When the leaves fall in autumn, they don't fight it. They simply let go. They detach, and in doing so, they make room for new growth. The tree doesn't force the leaves to fall. It simply allows them to be carried away by the wind. And in the spring, the tree blossoms again, but not because it's trying to control the process. It's simply participating in the natural rhythm of life. Similarly, when you surrender, you stop forcing your desires into a particular mold. You stop obsessing over how things will come to fruition. Instead, You trust that they will unfold when the time is right. And in doing so, you become part of the natural flow of life, rather than working against it. There's a powerful lesson here about the importance of patience and timing. Life has its own rhythm, and when you stop rushing or forcing, you learn to dance with it. You begin to trust that everything is happening exactly as it should, even if it doesn't align with your initial plans. This is where true freedom lies, not in trying to control the world around you, but in aligning with the rhythm of the universe. But let's be clear, surrender is not passive. It's an active choice to release your need for control, to stop worrying about how things will unfold, and to trust that the universe is always working in your favor. When you do this, you shift from a place of fear and resistance to one of trust and flow. And when you trust the process, you begin to witness the magic of synchronicity, where doors open without you needing to force them open, the power of quiet action, and the law of least effort. There's an undeniable strength that lies in stillness. In a world obsessed with speed, productivity, and constant motion, it's easy to forget that some of the most powerful actions come from moments of profound quiet. This is where the true power of manifestation resides, not in the constant hustle, but in the moments of pause, reflection, and alignment. The law of least effort, one of the most important universal laws, teaches us that the most profound and effective actions often require the least resistance. This law, rooted in Eastern philosophies and famously highlighted in the Tao Te Ching, suggests that when you act in harmony with the natural flow of life, your efforts will feel effortless. By surrendering to the rhythm of the universe, we become more attuned to its timing, its unfolding, and the best ways to act when the moment is right. In essence, the universe doesn't require us to exert endless energy to achieve our desires. The true power comes from making decisions, taking actions, and living in a way that aligns with what's already meant for us. This is the heart of quiet action, recognizing when to be still, when to wait, and when to move forward with purpose. Now, this concept of stillness might seem counterintuitive, especially in a world that constantly encourages action and doing. However, the truth is that being constantly busy doesn't necessarily equate to progress. In fact, much of our modern struggle stems from the belief that more effort equals better results. The pressure to always be active, to always be striving, can lead to burnout, frustration, and a disconnect from our true purpose. Quiet action, on the other hand, invites us to slow down and be intentional. It teaches us to listen more than we speak, to observe rather than react, and to move with intention rather than force. This subtle yet powerful approach is about acting with clarity and wisdom, not out of compulsion or fear. In this space, you begin to make decisions that are in alignment with your deepest values and your higher purpose. Take, for instance, the way a flower blooms. It doesn't rush to blossom, and yet, when the time comes, it opens with grace and beauty. The flower doesn't struggle to grow, it simply follows the natural rhythm of life. When we act in the same way, trusting that everything will unfold in its own time, we allow ourselves to be part of something much bigger than our immediate desires. In the practice of quiet action, we also learn the art of patience. This doesn't mean idly waiting for things to come to us, but rather being mindful of the flow of events and knowing when it's time to step in and take action. It's about acting at the right time, in the right way, and with the right intention. A key part of quiet action is knowing how to embrace the moments of rest, the pauses between our actions. Our society tends to frown upon stillness, as it associates it with laziness or indecisiveness. However, the truth is that rest is necessary for growth. In nature, when a plant experiences a period of dormancy, it's not wasted time. It's a vital part of its life cycle, allowing it to gather strength for the next season of growth. Similarly, when we allow ourselves to rest and reflect, we prepare ourselves for the next chapter in our journey with even more clarity and purpose. In fact, stillness isn't just about physical rest, it's about emotional and mental quiet as well. We live in a world where we are constantly bombarded with information, distractions, and demands on our time. The power of stillness is the ability to step back from all of this, to disconnect from the noise, and to reconnect with our inner self. This quiet space allows us to hear our intuition, to feel our deeper desires, and to gain clarity on the next steps we need to take. The more we practice quiet action, the more we realize that this stillness doesn't make us weak or passive. Quite the opposite, it makes us powerful. In this space, we are no longer driven by fear, anxiety, or the need to prove ourselves. Instead, we move with purpose, and our actions are aligned with a higher vision. An excellent example of quiet action in practice is found in the teachings of the Buddha. In his life, Buddha didn't rush from place to place, trying to accumulate more wisdom or followers. Instead, he sat in stillness, meditated, and listened to the whispers of the universe. From this quiet space, he discovered the truths of the nature of suffering and the path to liberation. It was in his stillness that he discovered the most profound truths, and it was from that place of calm clarity that he was able to share his teachings with the world. In much the same way, we are all capable of discovering our own truths when we practice the art of quiet action. Our society often tells us to do more, to be more, but the most powerful answers come when we stop trying to force things and start listening. We can't always control when opportunities will come or how things will unfold, but by aligning ourselves with the present moment, we can be ready to act when the time is right. And when we do act, it will be with confidence and purpose. One of the greatest benefits of quiet action is the space it creates for synchronicity to unfold. When we release our grip on how things should happen, we begin to see the beautiful patterns that emerge naturally. The people, the circumstances, and the opportunities you need will appear in ways that you could never have predicted. You don't need to chase them, you simply need to be open and ready to receive. This concept is beautifully illustrated in the ancient philosophy of Taoism, which teaches that the Tao follows the course of nature. The Tao, or the way, doesn't force things to happen, it lets them unfold in their own time. Just as the river flows naturally to the sea, the universe will bring the right opportunities into your life, but only if you stop trying to swim upstream. Have you ever felt that life was leading you down a path you didn't expect, yet somehow it felt more right than the one you thought you were supposed to follow? Trusting the unknown and embracing new pathways. There's a deep wisdom in this, a truth about the way the universe works. It doesn't always give us a map with clear directions. Sometimes it just asks us to take a step forward, even when we don't know exactly where the path leads. It asks us to trust what we can't yet see. When you stop trying to force things into a specific shape and instead allow yourself to move in the direction of what feels aligned, that's when something miraculous happens. You stop relying solely on logic, on plans that are based on past experiences or fears of what could go wrong. You open yourself up to the unknown, and that's when life begins to surprise you in ways you never could have predicted. Life has a way of showing us that the most unexpected experiences often lead to the greatest growth. We tend to hold on to what we know because it feels safe. We cling to routines, places, and people that feel comfortable, believing that stability comes from holding tight. But in truth, the very essence of life is change. The more we try to control everything, the more we limit ourselves. The universe, however, works in mysterious ways that often require us to step into the unknown, to take a leap of faith into areas we may not yet understand. The moment you let go of your fixed ideas about how things should unfold, you begin to open doors that were previously invisible to you. We often live our lives in a kind of mental prison, confined by expectations, societal pressures, and old habits. We are trained to follow patterns, to take steps that others have taken before us. Yet, life is not a straight line, and sometimes the most beautiful and transformative experiences are the ones that take us off the beaten path. To walk this new path requires faith, not in the things you can see, but in the feeling that something is guiding you in a new direction, even if you don't fully understand it yet. This is not to say that uncertainty is comfortable. Far from it. The unknown can be unsettling because it challenges everything we've been taught about control. We often feel the urge to plan every detail, to prepare for every possible outcome. Yet, there is a deeper power that emerges when we choose to walk forward in trust, not knowing exactly what lies ahead. It's about embracing the mystery of life, knowing that not everything needs to be figured out right now. By doing so, we create room for opportunities to appear in ways that we may have never imagined. Think of it as walking through a dark room with a small light in your hand. You can't see the whole room, but with each step you take, more of the space is revealed. The key is to keep moving forward, trusting that as you progress, the path will continue to unfold. The more you step into the unknown, the more you come to realize that this is where the magic happens, where the opportunities for growth, connection, and transformation lie. The discomfort of the unknown is often the very thing that helps us expand. When we step outside of what's familiar, we challenge ourselves to grow in ways we never could in a controlled environment. The universe has a way of offering us what we need, not necessarily what we want. But when we trust that the path will reveal itself to us, we start to understand that what we need is often much grander than what we initially expected. In fact, many of the most successful people in history weren't necessarily those who had the most resources or knowledge. Instead, they were the ones who were willing to take risks and step into the unknown with confidence. They trusted that the universe would open doors for them even when they didn't have a clear map to follow. They knew that by embracing uncertainty, they were opening themselves up to growth, opportunities, and insights they couldn't have anticipated. The key here is not to rush into the unknown recklessly, but to walk forward with purpose. Trust doesn't mean abandoning all caution or acting impulsively. It means having the wisdom to take that first step, even when the rest of the path is hidden from view. It means surrendering the need to control everything while still being an active participant in the journey. The universe will open doors when you embrace the unknown with a spirit of curiosity rather than fear. The more you let go of the idea that you need to have everything figured out, the more you will notice how the world seems to conspire in your favor, aligning circumstances in ways that support your growth. In ancient wisdom, there is the belief that life's greatest secrets are hidden in plain sight, and we only uncover them when we allow ourselves to let go of rigid expectations. It is said in various spiritual teachings that everything we need is already within us, but it takes a willingness to explore the unknown parts of ourselves to uncover these truths. The unknown is not just something outside of us. It's often a reflection of what we haven't yet discovered within. As you continue this journey of embracing the unknown, you'll come to realize that there is no right way to do things. The path is not linear, and it's certainly not about following a blueprint laid out by others. Instead, it's about listening to your own intuition, trusting your inner compass, and allowing life to guide you in ways that may be completely different from anything you expected. You will begin to notice subtle signs, synchronicities, and doors that open unexpectedly as you move forward in this trust. The truth is that life has a way of giving us what we need, but we can't always predict how or when it will happen. By opening yourself up to the unknown and walking through it with trust, you allow the universe to align everything in your favor. The key is to keep taking steps, even when you don't have the full picture, and allow the path to unfold as it should. The unseen forces that guide you. Have you ever experienced a moment in your life where everything seemed to fall into place, but in a way that you could never have planned? It's as if the universe itself is quietly orchestrating events, guiding you towards something greater than you could have ever imagined. This is the power of the unseen forces at work when you begin to trust the unknown and step away from the constant need for control. These forces are often referred to as the universal laws that govern everything: law of attraction, law of synchronicity, law of cause and effect, to name a few. They are not abstract ideas. They are the energetic currents that ripple through your life, nudging you, sometimes imperceptibly, toward growth and transformation. When you choose to step into the unknown with trust, you begin to sync up with these forces, and they start working on your behalf, opening doors and making things happen in ways you never could have anticipated. Think of this as an invisible web that connects you to everything around you. Every thought, every action, every intention you set into motion sends ripples through the fabric of this web. Most of us go through life unaware of how deeply interconnected we are with everything and everyone. But when you start to trust, to stop resisting, you begin to see how these ripples can align things in your favor. Suddenly, people, opportunities, and circumstances seem to appear out of nowhere. What you once thought was impossible starts to feel more attainable. This is not about controlling your destiny. Rather, it's about aligning with the flow of the universe. It's a subtle yet profound shift. You stop forcing outcomes and instead begin to act in harmony with the flow of life. Think of it as learning to dance with the rhythm of existence. Rather than pushing against the current, you allow yourself to be guided by it. In this space, magic happens, not in the form of grand, miraculous events, but in the quiet, everyday synchronicities that make you realize you are not alone on this journey. Many great philosophers, including Carl Jung, spoke of the collective unconscious, a vast, unseen realm of shared knowledge and experience. Jung believed that we are all connected to this collective unconscious, a reservoir of wisdom, intuition, and guidance that transcends the individual. The more you trust the unknown, the more you tap into this collective wisdom. You begin to understand that you are part of something much larger than yourself, and everything that you need to navigate this life is already embedded within you. The beauty of this process is that it doesn't require you to have all the answers up front. It's not about seeking perfection or having a detailed map of what the future holds. Instead, it's about learning to trust your inner compass, to believe in your ability to navigate even the most uncertain terrains. When you let go of the need to control every step and instead allow yourself to be guided by something greater, the universe begins to provide you with exactly what you need. One of the most powerful things that happens when you embrace the unknown is that it forces you to connect with your intuition on a deeper level. This is where true wisdom lives. Intuition is not something that can be rationalized or explained. It is a gut feeling, an inner knowing that often transcends logic. Many people dismiss their intuition because it doesn't always make sense. But the more you trust it, the more you will see how it guides you toward the opportunities, people, and situations that align with your highest good. In the process of stepping into the unknown, You also start to uncover what you truly desire in life. When you let go of preconceived notions of success or happiness, you make space for something more authentic. The universe doesn't care about your plans. It cares about your alignment with your true self. And when you stop fighting the flow and start listening to the subtle whispers of your heart, you will find that what you desire might be vastly different from what you thought you wanted. You are in a constant state of creation, even if you don't always realize it. Every thought, every action, every choice you make sends out an energetic imprint into the world. The more you trust, the more you align your energy with what is truly meant for you. The beauty of this process is that it doesn't require you to have everything figured out. The trust you place in the unknown becomes the guiding force that attracts the right opportunities, people, and experiences into your life. This is where the true magic lies. In the unexpected, in the unscripted moments that take you by surprise. The universe doesn't work on your timetable, nor does it follow your plans. Instead, it invites you to surrender to its flow, knowing that when you allow yourself to be carried by it, you will end up exactly where you need to be. The more you embrace this trust, the more you will see that everything unfolds in perfect timing, in ways that are often far more beautiful and fulfilling than anything you could have planned. By now, you may have noticed subtle shifts in your life. Things that once seemed out of reach are now within your grasp. The more you trust, the more aligned you become with your purpose and the life you are meant to lead. You will also begin to notice how opportunities and synchronicities start to show up in the most unexpected places, almost as if the universe is working behind the scenes to support you. Remember that the universe is constantly in motion, and so are you. You are a part of this magnificent dance of existence, and by stepping into the unknown with trust, you align yourself with the rhythm of life. When you stop trying to force things into a particular outcome, you begin to realize that life is not something that happens to you. It is something you create moment by moment, choice by choice. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.